Recyclings. So I have an obscene amount of clothes. For those of you who follow my Instagram, you probably recognize this, and part of the evidence of that is that I haven't repeated an outfit in 10 years. However, one of my favorite looks is a Gothic heroine look. So for those of you who aren't super familiar with traditional Gothic fiction, there is usually at least one scene in which the heroine, because in most Gothic stories it's a heroine, not necessarily a hero, is going about a creepy castle, building, manor, whatever, in a nightgown with a candle in the middle of the night. It's part of the trope, and it is a great look. If you've seen Crimson Peak, I wish I had a nightgown like Edith's, but I don't. I don't have the mutton sleeves, but I do have a lot of vintage nightgowns, and it's actually kind of ridiculous. So because I can't show you all of my clothes, I may as well show you this one drawer. So and some of these I've actually worn as just typical dresses. Some of them no, but sometimes I wear them as sleepwear. Sometimes I just feel very dramatic and want to lounge about the house. So this one has a lace bodice with some little beading and has a lace trim on the bottom. It's kind of hard to showcase them in their full length because most of them are kind of long. Some of them are about knee length. It does have some holes in it, but that typically doesn't bother me very much. So there's one. This one, which I believe actually might be inside out, is a slip. Has a lace front. Has this cool pleat on the bottom that has lace. So this one I use more as a slip than a true nightgown. And then this one kind of has the traditional empire waist with like this lace bar through the center that goes right under the bust with these cute little puffy cap sleeve things. It's fairly long, and I definitely wear that one as a nightgown. I've never worn it as a proper dress before. This one's one of my favorites. I got this at a thrift store in Chicago for $1, and it has these weird roses on the front. And this is definitely one I wear as a nightgown fairly consistently. Another one that I just got kind of recently and haven't had the chance to wear yet, but is super cute with this pale, kind of peachy satin with the lace on top. It has a very fitted waist, and then it's very long, but very plain, but does flare out a bit at the hips. It has kind of the thin taffeta straps. So I just like finding nightgowns. I usually get them from thrift stores or vintage clothing stores, sometimes antique malls. This one, when I got it, I believe was a very pale blue, and then I put it in a dye bath with black, and this is what color it turned, which the most impressive part of it for me is that there are these little like seed pearls, and they got dyed as well. But it has like these weird triple straps. Again, it's quite long, but it has more than one layer, so it's quite translucent. And there are several of these that I got them where they were a different color and I dyed them. So this one was actually part of a lot. So I went on Etsy and was looking for just vintage nightgowns. So this one I don't typically wear as a dress because it is in fact very see-through. This is the type of thing, if I'm feeling very dramatic, I'll just wear it about the house. But it's pretty thin and it is long. But it also came with a matching dressing gown, which I've definitely worn before. Has the fitted wrists, but then it has these patches of lace with this tall collar with the ruffle. It does have some holes in it. I don't really have a problem with them being holes, but it is open to the front, and sometimes I've worn it with belts, sometimes I've worn it over pants, sometimes I'll wear them together, and sometimes I've worn them separate. This one was yellow when I got it. It was part of the same lot, but I put it in the dye bath with the black dye. It's kind of got some torn edges and stuff, but it does have this kind of cute little window on the front, but it's very simple. It's not very complicated. Again, it's pretty easy to tell which ones I put in the dye bath because they have like this weird bluish purple tone to them. Except in the case of this one, I took fabric spray paint and sprayed some red around the collar, and then down around the bottom sprayed some black. And you can get fabric spray paint from Michael's for like $4 a can or something. I use it a good amount. It's a good DIY tool. It's very easy. You just kind of put it on a hanger and stick it outside and just kind of go at it and leave it alone for a little bit. So this one's not super crazy. I just have this weird like stripe of ribbon with lace on it. But that one also came with a matching little dressing gown thing that has these sleeves that ended up getting more of the black dye than the rest. I've worn this one for outfits. This one actually used to be white. Yeah, this used to be white when I first found it. And then I decided I didn't want it to stay white and changed it. Let's see, what's this one? This one, I don't really like this one over much. I ended up doing some stitching so that it would fit me better. It was too big. But this lacing on the front, and because of the way that it sits, it kind of opens. It's just odd because the front panel is like double layered and overlaid and stuff. I don't know. Words are hard. So I can use it. I just haven't found a lot of ways to wear it yet. So I just haven't worn it very much. This one, I struggle with wearing. I think this was like pale yellow or something when I found it. But it's super sheer. But I like this like little band in the center with the little rosettes and the little bows on the shoulders. But the rest of it is kind of uneven. I think it was torn or something. It's kind of hard to figure out how to wear it. So I don't know if I've worn it or not. I can't remember. This one was, again, kind of the same thing. And several of these I've definitely worn as dresses, especially the ones that are a little bit more opaque. And sometimes if they're still slightly sheer, I'll layer them with other stuff so they're less sheer. Oh, and this was the matching dressing gown for that other one. I didn't realize I put it in the drawer instead of hanging it up. But it has little... I'm just a sucker for like this semi-sheer fabric with lace. I just really, really like lace. And this one I've actually worn as a dress several times, and it has like a cream underlay, and then it has like the little bows and the little pearl beads on the front. But most of these, because they're just very straight up and down, I'll belt them. And if you put a big fat waist belt on a nightgown, it suddenly looks like a dress. That's the cheat code for the day. Now this one, I think I've worn this as a dress layered, because the entire front of the bodice itself is quite sheer. I've worn this layered a couple of times, I think twice. But, I mean, it's just a very simple, very cool purple that contrasts very nicely with my hair. This one isn't necessarily a nightgown. I don't even know what this is, and I've worn this as like a house dress. It has the buttons up the front, and it zips up the front. It has these like 3/4 sleeves. So, I mean, I've worn that as a house dress in like the fall. It's too hot. My apartment's way too hot in the summer to wear stuff like this, but it's kind of interesting. I've never attempted to wear it outside of the house. Okay, so I also got this guy. It's just very long. Again, I attacked it with the fabric spray paint, and it kind of has this weird panel down the front with more lace, because like I said, I'm a sucker for lace. And then this, I believe, was the matching dressing gown. And I just really like red. Red's actually my favorite color. Like dark blood red is my favorite color. And kind of contrasting this bright red over a black. It's very, very vampy. And I like that sense of drama. And the last one in here, which is another slip, which I believe I didn't turn right side out after I washed it last. I just sort of left that one alone. It has this nice little rosette patterning around the bodice, and then the lace and stuff. And I do like layering this. It has that rosette around the bottom too, with like sheer normal black dresses. So it has a nice contrast that way. This is a brand new find. I haven't even taken the tag off of it yet. But I am actually thinking I'm going to refrain. I'm going to tell myself to not dye it and just leave it white, because it's very ghostly. And it's very long. It goes, I think, about mid-calf. It's not quite as long as some of the others. But most of these, I don't think any of these were over $20. And I don't buy them very often. I usually buy maybe 2 a year. Although I got a head start when I first started buying them. I got a lot of them. I think it was like 6 of them for like $25 off Etsy. And that includes a couple of dressing gowns, although I think I forgot to bring a couple over. Oh well. But it makes for fun layering pieces. They're very breezy. So in the summer, they're kind of nice but they can look a little too much like a nightgown and not enough like day wear if you don't wear them right. So layers are important. I don't like repeating outfits. I like doing layers, and so the fact that these are really thin and they give me opportunity for layering is really one of the reasons I like them. I don't care that they're a little torn, that they're a little bit chewed up. It just kind of adds to the whole moth-eaten Gothic heroine mystique aspect. I won't necessarily do a ton of clothes show and tells because I just have a lot of clothes and it's hard to show off black clothes. So I figured I would just do that one drawer. Anyway, I hope that you appreciated and kind of got a sense of how to achieve the Gothic heroine look. I say as I'm wearing this kind of Regency style dress. Anyway, till next time, Darklings.